Hi, this is the lesson that ties in with solving multiplication and division equations, and it goes with homework assignment practice 4-4. This lesson is actually extremely similar to lesson 4-2. In that one we were working with adding and subtracting in algebraic expressions. This one we're just working on multiplying and dividing. So again, our main goal, whenever we see an algebraic expression, I tell the children, is to get the variable all by itself. To accomplish this, you do again perform the inverse or the opposite operation. The inverse of multiplication is division, and the inverse of division is multiplication. So if we had a problem that looked like this, and it says 3x equals 45, we need to solve for x. To do that, we want to get x by itself. Unfortunately, right now it's attached at the hip with this 3, so we're going to have to do something with the 3 to get rid of it. Well, since right here it says to take 3 times x, we're going to do the inverse operation and we're going to divide. So we're going to draw a little line, and we're underneath it we're going to write our 3. Now the children and I have gone over the fact that this does not always just mean fractions. It's also another symbol for division. So the way we would read this now is 3 times x divided by 3. Now the reason this works is because 3 divided by 3 is 1. And then of course we have our x, and now it just says 1 times x, and 1 times anything, the identity property of multiplication, says that we're going to remain the same. So 1 times x is x. Now the property of equality needs to come back into play, and if we divide this side by 3, we need to divide this side by 3. So if we come over to our workspace and take 45 divided by 3, you will notice that 3 goes into 45 15 times. So we come back, and 45 divided by 3 is 15, and 15 would be our final answer. So let's go through a couple more examples, a few more examples. The first problem, number 1, reads 18 times x is equal to 36. Well, again, our main goal is to get our variable by itself. So what we need to do is the inverse operation. So instead of multiplying by 18, we're going to divide by 18. And if we property of equality says if we divide this side by 18, we must also divide this side by 18. Now 18 divided by 18 is going to give us 1, and then it's going to be times x. 1 times x leaves us x, so that's how this actually works. 36 divided by 18 is 2, so our final answer for our variable is 2. Problem number 2, this time we have a division. If we have our variable w divided by 5 is equal to 20. Well, the inverse operation of division is multiplication. So we can write this, w divided by 5 times 5 is equal to 20 times 5. And as you can see, the property of equality, we do the same thing to both sides. That leaves us with our variable over here and 20 times 5, which is 100 over here. Problem number 3, again we have a division. R divided by 5 is equal to 22. Well, we want to leave the variable by itself, so we're going to do the inverse operation. So instead of dividing by 5, again we're going to multiply by 5. So r divided by 5 times 5 is the same as 22 times 5. Again, the property of equality, make sure we do the same thing to both sides. This leaves us with r on this side and 110 on this side. And the last one is 8 times y is equal to 56. We want to do the inverse operation, so instead of multiplying, we're going to divide, and if you would prefer, we can write it like this. And as long as you do it to both sides of the equation, it will still be equal. So this leaves us with y, and 56 divided by 8 is 7. And our story problem this evening, Josh's class is planting a garden. Josh divided seeds so that 20 students had 35 seeds each. How many seeds did Josh start with? And they even gave us the equation. So I like to rewrite it. So we have y divided by 20 is 35. So what we're going to need to do is the inverse operation. Instead of dividing, we're going to multiply by 20. So it would be y divided by 20 times 20, and this is 35 times 20. This leaves us with y over here, and on this side 35 times 2 is 70, and then we add our 0. So we would say Josh started with 700 seeds. All right. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to let me know. Thank you very much.